everyone. Have you ever wondered that how some women are able to get so comfortable with having conversation regarding money? They are investing their money. They are comfortable getting visible in the boardroom meetings. They are becoming the CEOs of companies. They're starting their own businesses. They're climbing up the corporate ladder. But some of us can feel that we are stuck at either a five-figure income or a six-figure income, and we want to really do our game up. Okay, we want to go towards an eight-figure income at a nine-figure income, or if you're at a six-figure income, you want to make go up to the seven-figure income. So this is all about taking up space, and this is my mission, that I help at least 1 lakh women step into leadership roles where they can get comfortable with getting visible, with getting wealth, building their own empires as queens and leading those empires. Because a lot of times women can be conditioned to stay quiet, to be accommodating, to not take up so much space. And this is what is exactly required to be successful, to get comfortable with stepping into our own power, to get comfortable and feel safe with visibility. Okay, so I'm going to share 5 growth hacks that women can do today in their life to actually experience these kind of success. So let's go through these hacks that will help you to grow your visibility, your income, and your impact, where you'll be looking deeper into what are certain patterns that would be actually keeping me stuck. Because more than how to do a certain thing, where you are looking at a particular strategy, it is so much about the energetic shift. It is so much about your mindset shift. How do I need to show up differently? So ask yourself this question: what does the seven-figure version of me look like? What does the eight-figure version of me look like? If you are in a VP role, you want to step into the president's role. If you are, somebody who is in a mid management role, you want to step up into a senior management role. Or you are a startup owner who's making six figures this year and you want to make the seven figure in the next year. This quantum shift and this quantum leap is possible if you are able to upgrade your identity before you even look at strategy. Because strategy and information is available all over the internet, right? That you need to polish your domain skills, you need to polish your communication skills. But what needs to shift is, who is she who is acting in a different way, who's speaking in a different way. She is talking about money in a different way. Because if you see a woman business owner who's charging seven figure for her service and who is charging five figures for her service and six figures for her service, she has a very different kind of tonality and comfort with the price that she is charging. Oh, she is not feeling like, oh, I am charging this much amount of money for my service, or I am asking this much amount of money as my salary to my company. I am becoming an inconvenience. This is not her thought process. A lot of people who are stuck in the five figure income bracket may have that kind of a thought process, that I don't want to be too inconvenient, because women are conditioned to not cause inconvenience. But they're not looking at something called as the ROI. For example, if a woman leader works with me, or someone who was on a career break of 7 8 years, if she works with me and she was going to require 2 to 3 years of time to restart her career, and after working with me she does that in 6 months, she has started making that extra 10 lakh rupees, 12 lakh rupees a year before. So that is what is the ROI of investing in your personal growth. The learning curve gets shorter, the time is compressed, and you are getting results that you require to actually grow. So this is how you start to think about your personal investment. And as you go up the ladder, your time starts to become more expensive than your money itself. So you want to do things that will help you shorten the time that is required, or the opportunities that you are losing because of not taking that action. So the mindset shift is clearly visible in this first hack. where you are going from, I hope they choose me, I hope they buy my services, I hope that they like me. So you're going from that place, from likability to building trust, to building the kind of respect that you want, right? Where you are choosing the rooms that you want to enter to. So this shift happened to me as well. There was a time where, I would think, would I really get clients in the very beginning of my career when I was just building capabilities? But there came a point where I said that I want to choose the kind of clients that I want to work with. And this may look like, attitude, or that she's too arrogant and all of that as external judgments. But what I'm really looking at is a value alignment. When I help a lady step out of her career break and go back to work, that gives me immense joy. When I see a woman taking up space, standing up for her needs, and taking charge, it really shifts something in me as well as a practitioner. So this is the kind of results in chemistry that happens between a coach and a client. And that is something that I'm looking for when I am, interviewing my clients in the clarity calls, as to, do I want to work with it? Do I want to work with that person? And this shifted the way I show up in my clarity calls. And this energetic shift can do so much more to you than, just undergoing a lot of theoretical understanding of things. And the next is going from, am I good at what I do? Like a lot of self doubt, to saying that, I am the go to expert in my niche, and not just saying, but really putting in the effort in your domain skills to become that expert in the niche. So, what happens with a lot of women is that because they are in the self doubt and overthinking, they don't even undergo their polishing of the domain skills that is required, because they are wondering, oh, am I good enough? This person said that about me, that person said that about me. So, they sit with that thought process instead of actually polishing their domain skills. So, because of these blocks, our identity sometimes cannot go to the next level. So, this is the first step that I do with my women clients who want to step up when it comes to visibility and income. The next is to be loud and visible and unapologetic. So, when I say loud, it's not the kind of loud that you see in motivational videos, right? Where people are screaming motivation, but it is about standing up for what you really think is important, for what matters. Okay, for example, if I talk about being loud and visible in relationships, if I give it a context of relationships, I have women who ask me that, Rutuja, is it okay for me to actually want this, to say this to my partner that I need more of his time, or I would want to go on a vacation, or whatever it is? Am I allowed to want this? So, our conditioning that we have to be so apologetic about what I want, whether it is your emotional need, whether it is your need for growth, it comes with so much of apology because of living in a patriarchal conditioning, that we may start to, think that we are a bad person for wanting to grow, or a bad person, okay, or you are an attention seeker if you're wanting to be visible. All of these judgments can really, keep us stuck. So, here you want to really remember that getting to the seven figure means getting safe with visibility, feeling safe with visibility, and addressing any kind of deep shame that comes with visibility. This is the reason why a lot of women who are capable, who are qualified, who have the education that they need, they have the years of experience, but they're not coming on social media, they're not making videos, or they're not contributing or showing their thought leadership within the organization or on LinkedIn. Because we have heard this thing, right, that ज़्यादा लोगों की नज़रों में नहीं आना चाहिए, ज़्यादा spotlight में नहीं आना चाहिए. So there the conditioning is of shrinking. So we need to break those patterns, and we do this, with your subconscious pattern. We do this using NLP and many other somatic tools as well, because the fear could really reside in our body, that when we are trying to be visible, we can see that I am shrinking so much. There is no free flow of my hands or my eyes. You'll see, right? For the first time when you look at the camera, you are such a stiff person, or you may look like somebody has just put you over there and forced you to speak in a certain way. And we don't experience that free flow of energy, right? We don't allow ourselves to make mistakes. But if you're somebody who's allowing yourself to do that, you have changed your wealth game that day. the day you've become safe and comfortable with visibility. And sometimes, even if you make a certain mistake in the meeting, you said a word in a different way, you made a little mistake, and if you yourself are forgiving, okay, about that. I may have made so many mistakes, while speaking when we have started this presentation. Okay, as I'm so excited about this idea that I want to share, your attention is more on my excitement than my mistakes, because I give that energy to my excitement. I give that energy to my teaching, and my attention may be a little bit on the mistakes that I'm making, but I'm not giving it those many, I don't give it that much value. And this is how you use your communication, how you hold your mistakes, how you hold your areas of improvement is how other people are going to look at your areas of improvement. If you say that if I speak up, I am not, people will get to know that I don't know much, people will get to know that I'm not good enough. Okay, so there's nobody in this world who knows everything about everything, okay? But you can become an expert in something and you can learn. And if you still don't know, you can always be honest and say, I don't know. That creates more trust than any other thing. Okay, so in your organization, when you're stepping up, from a six figure to a seven figure income, try to be an entrepreneur if you can't be an entrepreneur, where you are looking at what is something that the organization needs. Because when you have stepped up, in the corporate ladder, you may think like, what do next milestones of growth look like? And I had such a client with me who was in a very senior leadership position, and she wanted to figure out her next right moves when it comes to her career, and she was in indecision about a lot of things. And when we worked on these deeper blocks, she was able to make decisions like that. I mean, we worked on those blocks. After a few sessions, she directly come and said that, hey, I've made these decisions and I've started to execute it. So that is what happens when we, work on these growth hacks. So the third is to actually build a magnetic personality. Now, when I say magnetic personality, it doesn't always have to come with a lot of expensive clothes or a show off saying things that you are not. That is the best thing to do if you want to sound fake. Okay, so if you are somebody who's trying to, please people by just being fake, I know so many people, they learn some public speaking course and they start to do this in the videos. Okay, they will speak like this, and it is so funny, right? You don't have to do all of these things. Okay, the more authentic you are, and the more you don't need people's validation to make your own decisions, you become magnetic. You say that, hey, I have a spine, I am comfortable and certain in my authentic self. Okay. Like I say this, I had a very important, a conversation was going on, and all stakeholders, even my father was present there. And someone said that, Rutuja is very good in this area. And he was telling my father, why don't you look for a job for her in that particular area? So I said to him, I'm never going to, do a job. I'm not going to work under somebody. I don't want to work under someone. I lead my own organization. So sometimes somebody else may think that you're being so arrogant by saying that, but that's who I am. And even my father knows this very well. So he did not go on explaining that person why, Rutuja, I'm not going to look for a job for her, or I'm not going to persuade her for that, because I believe in that. And I have also, embodied that in front of my parents. Now even my parents don't, go on saying that go find a job for yourself, or this is the advertisement of a government job. After I quit my job for a very long time, I had my relatives sending me job posters that you can apply for this and that and all of that. So the moment I actually started to embody that I am a coach and I have my business and it's running well and I want to continue in this field, the pull of the desired clients or the pull of people who really need that service started to happen to me. And if there were, changes that were required in my strategies, in the systems of the business, I started to do that because I was able to set firm boundaries. Okay, that this is the field in which I am setting my authority, these are my boundaries, and I'm not going to distract myself. If you move in this world thinking that, oh, everybody else knows better than me, you will never be able to establish that authority. And I'm not saying that if you are having that authority, you should not take anybody else's opinion. You can take opinions, you can take advice. It's always good to receive mentorship, but you need to have that backbone to take decisions by yourself, even if you are making mistakes. One of the biggest reframe that I need to do for my clients is that they are good at decision making. Many women believe that they are very bad at decision making, because unless and until you are not disconnected to your power, you cannot be controlled, right? Unless and until somebody constantly tells you that you are bad at decision making, they will not have the power to make decisions for you. So these power games are being played with women from a very long period of time. Okay, so you need to recognize it and you need to really look at it. So I really make them objectively look at all the decisions that you have made. Even if you have made 60% good decisions in your life, you have the capacity to keep improving on the 40%. But because you made 40% wrong decisions, it does not make sense to outsource your power from other people, because you're going to put them on pedestal, you're going to desire their approval, they are never going to be happy with you, and you will be in resentment and rage for the rest of your life. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to be in that place. Hence, this purpose itself to help women regain their sense of power and build from that place, it's good for the whole society, it's good for everyone, because we will not be carrying resentment, will not be carrying passive aggressiveness, and we will not be falling sick. I know of so many women who have had so many health issues because they were suppressing their emotions, their emotional needs, and so much of burnout because they constantly wanted to please people, either by being the good one or look for appreciation from people. Okay, so when you have this authority thing very, very clear in your energy, it starts to reflect in your brand. It starts to reflect in your work, your personal brand at work, that what do you really stand for? So I asked this women leader, what are you as a go to expert? She said that I'm very good at execution, I'm excellent at execution. And the day she started to integrate this, that I'm so good at execution that I'm able to spot gaps very quickly, what needs to change, so that in the later phases there is no problem that the project needs to face. So that itself was a huge understanding, because her energy was shifting to what does she carry as a strength. Then there was less shame around what needs to improve. We are going to talk about shame in a very short moment, that if we heal the shame that we have around receiving, and wealth, our life will become so much easier. Because what we understand from our past experiences, or if you have seen that your parents have struggled a lot to make money, you come from very humble, very middle class backgrounds, what we think that making money is only about just pushing harder and pleasing the authorities and always being very obedient and always being very compliant. But what's need to change is that I can be happy while I make money. I can be peaceful while I make money. I can relax and I can make money. Okay, so when I was choosing to align my passion and my work, I had this block, that can I really make money by doing things that makes my heart really happy, because I haven't seen people doing that around me, right? Or I may have seen very few people who are doing that. So I'm allowed to be joyful as I make money. Okay, so I can, every conversation, every coaching conversation that I have, if I have an aligned client, it increases my energy instead of burning myself out. And you will see that people, who have the ownership mindset, whether it is you are an entrepreneur, you have your own business, or you are an entrepreneur, like in the organization, you are contributing on the front foot. You're not always just taking orders, but actively contributing to growth. When you come home, you are physically tired, but you're not mentally burnt out. Okay, you are like, okay, I've come home, now I need to do something else, or I need to refresh and all of that. So I need to be okay with receiving money. Okay, for example, that let's say that if you have a block with money and you are a service business owner, you quoted the price and somebody said, oh, that's too much money, and you just you got fearful and you just gave them a discount instantly. What you just did is that you acknowledge that I am too much. and I don't want to be an inconvenience for you, so I am giving you this discount. So there may be, beliefs where I want to be a good one, I don't want to be inconvenient. Okay, for example, if you really want to do that, you can keep a flexible pricing, like this is the range of my services, you can pay as per your wish, but that you're doing from a place of power and not from a place of shrinking. So you need to heal your wounds around receiving. If you're someone, who is very strong, who knows how to invest money, who knows how to make wealth, who knows all of that, but when it comes to receiving love from people around you, you are like, can I really trust this person? you know will this person ask me for doing certain favor if I take help? Okay, all of these are trust wounds, and you need to really start to heal those, to find people whom you can trust, because it is, at the end of the day, it is about creating more win-win situations. Okay, so guilt around making more money than your partner or family, this is very common. This belief was present with one of my clients who said that, Rutuja, if I make more money, then people around me are going to be jealous of me, or they're going to stop talking to me, or they're going to look at me in a very different way. Or some women actually will not even remain in those toxic situations if they make more money. A lot of women will not tolerate a pinch of toxicity if they made more money. Okay, and because they don't want to, subconsciously change that status quo and that comfort zone, their mind stops them from doing the money making activities. Like, I know this in business coaching also, that people will do everything other than the thing that can get them money, other than the thing that will, get the income. So this is unconscious self sabotage that people are doing, right? Subconscious beliefs regarding money that make you feel like, जिस घर में पैसे होते हैं वहाँ शांति नहीं होती, वहाँ पर people are just fighting with each other. Okay, so this childhood imprint that girls should not desire more or want more or work towards that, this does not help you expand your container energetically of receiving wealth. Okay, a lot of women still think that I should not be earning more than my partner, and this is a subconscious belief that they are taking into. But if you see, we are moving towards an era where actually even men are wanting to have strong partners, because the world is, getting so much more difficult for people, that making more money has become important, right? So they are also looking for women who understand about wealth, who want to actually work towards wealth creation. So these are very, very old belief systems. Okay, that you should only marry somebody who's making more money than you. It's your personal call. Okay, it's after all your personal call as to what your goals are, what do you want to do with your life. And if you're taking career breaks, okay, to be with your children, it doesn't have to come with a shame that because I'm not making money, I have no value now. Okay, so yes, we're talking about making wealth, but your sense of worth is not equal to the amount of money you make. You are precious. Okay, if you have children, or think that if you had children, if you are not having children, if you had a child, and I said that, what amount of money will you exchange your child with me, how much should I pay you so that you would give me a child, you would say, I will not give my child away. My child is precious, there's no price tag on my child. Same is with you. You are someone's child and there is no price tag on you. Okay, so these are the five blocks that we want to work with. The fourth one being the healing the shame around wealth, and the fifth one being open to receiving. Okay, where you are actually allowing yourself to have the time in your calendars where you are resting, relaxing, rejuvenating. I see this happening a lot. Every time I am on a vacation or I am on a holiday, once I come back from vacation or those holidays and I have had my very good time with my family members, I start to get a lot of clients. Okay, because my energy changes, my container refills. that what can I do for others, the amount of work that I can do for others, that changes. So I have a very beautiful jingle that I say to myself: the more playful I am, the more money I make. The more playful I am, the more money I make. So always, because when we think about somebody who's a billionaire, who's a millionaire, who's made a lot of money, we think about people who are very serious with their work. Okay, they don't enjoy at all. They don't do feel good things, and they only burn themselves out or exhaust themselves out. Or somebody who don't give value to their relationships and all of that. But that's not true. Look at the 1% of the people who've made wealth. Okay, and if you find someone who has had a very good relationship with their partner and family, and nobody actually broke up with them, whether family or partner, for making more money, right? So when you see that there are people like you who are doing things like you, and they are making more money, so you will not lose on the good stuff. Okay, in the journey of growth, you will not lose on the good stuff, because the more you grow, the more you find people who align with you. So you need to expand your thought process, you need to expand your energy as well, if you really want to get visible, and if you want to take that quantum leap of going from a six figure income to a seven figure income. So if you're on the seven figure income, then going to the eight figure income. And if you want me to facilitate this journey for you, because I've done it for so many other clients of mine, then you can come have a discovery call with me. And if it works out between us, we'll take it forward. If you think that, yeah, this is what I really want, so we will make that shift happen for you. Because this quantum leap, right, that I want to do something, when you think about investing itself, okay, whether you're investing in some kind of SIPs, or you're investing in your own business, you're investing in your own personal growth, there comes a point of fear that stops you from actually breaking the comfort zone. But if you are able to navigate that with someone, navigate that whole transition, and reinvent yourself in that process, you step up in a much powerful way. So when a woman heals her emotional wounds, her wounds related to visibility, wealth, and power, then she is truly able to experience the kind of expansion that she is looking for. Whether it is, success in terms of tangible things like money, or whether it is success in terms of non tangible things like, wanting to get married, have children, and all of that. Because our approach is holistic. When I am crafting these journeys with women, I often consider that, do they want to plan having children during this time? Do they want to plan getting married this time? Because you need to, want to experience the whole thing of becoming a woman, all the expressions of it. It's your choice, things like marriage and whether you want to have kids or not, it's your personal choice. But if you have zeroed down on it, or if you have some confusions about it, that I don't know whether I want to have a child or not, or whether I want to get married or not, if you have fears around it, that is also something that I discuss with women, while we are redesigning their lives. Because all these experiences make your life really wholesome, and you don't have to compromise on one for that I can only be a good mother, or I can only be a good career woman. Okay, most of us, we want to be both. Okay, the only thing is that we should not fall into the trap of the perfection and the guilt and everything that comes with it. Otherwise, it's a wonderful journey that we can have together. So if you want to book a call, you can go to the description, you'll find the call booking